Multiplying mixed numbers and fractions. When multiplying mixed numbers and fractions, one must change the mixed number to an improper fraction, then multiply as usual, using cancellations whenever possible. Example, a poster was made that measured 4 3/4 feet. The man wanted it reduced by 2/3. What would be the size of the poster when it is reduced? 4 3/4 times 2/3. In order to multiply this particular fraction, we must change the mixed number to improper fraction. 4 times 4 equals 16, plus 3 equals 19, over 4 times 2/3. Then we multiply. As we observe, 2 and 4 shares a common divisor. 2 will divide into 2 one time. 2 will divide into 4 2 times. Now we multiply. 19 times 1 equals 19. 2 times 3 equals 6. The solution is 19 over 6. This is an improper fraction. Now we have to change the improper fraction to a mixed number. We change this improper fraction to a mixed number by dividing 19 by 6. 6 will divide into 19 3 times. 3 times 6 is 18. 19 minus 18 is 1. The answer is 3 and 1 over 6. 4 3/4 times 2/3 equals 3 and 1/6.
We will be watching a very practical application of multiplying mixed numbers by fractions. The rule for threads of bolts going into metal is the thread should go 1.5 times the diameter of the bolt. But before we watch the video clip where I am in the shop, let's figure out this problem. How long should the threads be for a 1/4-inch bolt? So the bolt is 1/4 inch in diameter. And this is the rule for bolts. Thread should be 1.5 times the bolt diameter. So the threads of that bolt, we have a bolt here, and this is 1/4 of an inch. How far should these threads be? That goes into the metal. So let's do 1/4 times 1 1/2 equals 1/4. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3 over 2. 3 times 1 is 3. 2 times 4 is 8. So the answer is the thread should go in 3/8 of an inch. So 3/8 of an inch, these threads should go into the metal. And let's look at this video scene and see what happens. I have here in the vise a piece of cold rolled steel, and I've drilled into it 2 holes, and I've tapped into it with this tap 2 threaded holes. And so now I'm going to be demonstrating with this bolt. I have here a 1/4-20 bolt, and I have here, get my rule out of my pocket, and I have over here this bolt sticking out 1/8 of an inch. Now I'm going to take this, and I use some parallels that I have to get me the right height. And I'm going to be demonstrating on what happens when you just have 1/8 of an inch sticking out on a 1/4-inch bolt. Now, a little bit. Now you can see what happened. If you look closely, you see that the threads were stripped. Now I'm going to remove 2 of these parallels, which amounts to 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to be putting in a new bolt, because that bolt is stripped now. As you can see, the threads of this bolt stick out 3/8 of an inch. Now I'm going to tighten this bolt up into the other threaded hole. Now I'm going to be over-tightening this bolt. And we're going to see what happens. As you can see, the threads were stronger than the bolt itself. Now in the previous lesson I spoke about perhaps you would like to make 1/2 the recipe. But I don't want to make 1/2. I love these cookies, these oatmeal cookies filled with almonds and raisins. So I want to make 1.5 times the amount. Now remember, the white sugar is 1/2 a cup. So let's go now and figure out how much white sugar I need. So let's go to the whiteboard. 1/2 of a cup. Remember, I want to make 1.5 times the amount. Times 1 1/2. So I have to change that. 1.5 times 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3 over 2. 3 times 1 is 3. 2 times 2 is 4. And so I need 3/4 of a cup of white sugar. Now the recipe calls for 1.5 cups of flour. Now remember, I'm going to be making 1.5 times that amount. So I need to multiply 1 1/2 times 1 1/2 equals. So 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, times, again the same, 3 over 2 equals, 3 times 3 is 9, 2 times 2 is 4, and this will equal 2 1/4 cups of flour. Here we can see a practical application of multiplying mixed numbers when we do baking. The recipe calls for 1/2 cup of white sugar, and also calls for 2 sticks of butter. It would be 3 sticks. Now we mix the butter and the sugar together until it's creamy. Add eggs and vanilla. 1.5 times 2 is 3. 1.5 cups of flour. As you remember, that was 2 cups and 1/4. The baking soda, teaspoon, and also cinnamon. Again, 1.5 teaspoons. Salt is optional, so we'll just put a little bit of salt. Now mix well. And we're going to be having some delicious oatmeal, raisin, and almond cookies. 3 cups of oats, 1.5 times, that would be 4.5 cups. And then the raisins, they were to be 1 cup, so that'd be 1.5 cups of raisins. And since I like almonds, lots of them, I'm going to put whole almonds into these cookies. The same amount of almonds as raisins. And now mix. We have all the ingredients. 1 cup of firmly packed brown sugar, so I put 1.5 cups in. One side. Press a little bit more of the brown sugar. That should be about it. Now I should check butter, brown sugar, white sugar, eggs, vanilla. Everything is now in there. Now mix well. dough is mixed. Now we're going to be putting the dough on the cookie sheet. And as you can see, there's lots of raisins and lots of almonds. A good healthy cookie. Now we've got all the cookies on the cookie sheet. Now I'm ready to put them in the oven. Pretty soon we'll have some delicious oatmeal, raisin, almond cookies. Cookies are done. Raisin, almond, oatmeal cookies. Take them off this cookie sheet. They're a little bit too hot to eat yet. I'm putting these cookies on this rack to cool because they're too hot to eat right now. Once they cool down, we're going to give it the taste test. Now these oatmeal, raisin, almond cookies are cool, and I'm going to give it the taste test. And I would love to have you taste one too. As you can see, the raisins and the almonds are sticking out. And this is also a healthy cookie. I shouldn't be boasting of my baking, but they do taste delicious. You can follow the recipe from the Summer Kitchen. Thank you.
Please pause the video now and complete the problems in your workbook. When finished, press play, and we'll continue with the next lesson.